daily inspiration. Something in that morning reading made me cry. Some of you that have heard some of my other speeches know that I have been in a period of transition over the last 4 to 5 years. It's been a time of loss and change and letting go. Right now I'm trying very hard to get back to a place of peace and hope. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. As I sat there crying that morning, I had this crazy thought that my life is rather like an onion. You see, an onion starts as a little seed, but as it grows, it builds layers up all around it. I thought, that is not unlike my life. I start out as a little baby. I have a clean slate and my whole life ahead of me. And as I start to grow, I start to gather layers. Layers of memories and experiences that wrapped around me and shaped my life. Now we all know what happens when we start to peel back the layers of an onion. It makes us cry. As I sat there crying that morning, letting go of something else in my life, I thought, actually what I'm doing is peeling back another layer of the onion. I'm getting a little closer to my true self. Now the memories and the experiences of our past will have different effects on our lives, obviously, depending on what those experiences are. Now some of us may have happy childhood memories that make us smile. We could have sad memories from an unpleasant event or maybe a disaster that occurred in our life. Or maybe we just had a miserable childhood. Whatever the experiences, they're going to affect our lives. For me, I have really happy childhood memories. I had 2 loving parents, 3 brothers I adore, and I was a little spoiled as the only daughter. Of course, it wasn't all rosy. For one thing, my father was an alcoholic. I could remember the pain he caused my mother from time to time when he would come home drunk. Not physical pain, but emotional pain. Yet somehow for me, the memories of my childhood, the happy memories, far outweigh any of the bad memories. Now for my soon-to-be ex-husband, Kevin, his childhood was overpowered by a manic depressant alcoholic father who did nothing but scream and yell at the 6 children and their mother. They lived a life of feast or famine. Their life was a roller coaster, whereas my life was smooth sailing and even keel. But this is why I believe the experiences, especially in our young lives, they're layers that wrap around us. And as we become grown-ups, these are the things that provide the eyes for how we see the world. So in our marriage, it was nothing for Kevin to yell at me in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, because there was a reason, because there was no reason. This was just the norm for him. Now, our views of the world are at opposite ends of the spectrum. But isn't that a great example of how the experiences of our lives manifest as we grow older? During this time of transition that I've been in, I'm realizing that I am peeling away some of the layers. And of course, that often brings the tears. But I think that's all a good thing, because it's all part of the healing. When you go through a period of loss, often with it comes feelings of depression, grief, anger, maybe low self-esteem. The important thing is that we don't let those feelings because they should remain temporary. We can't let them wrap around us and define the rest of our life. Once we realize we have these unwanted layers, we need to start peeling them back so that we get closer to our true selves and we get closer to being the person God meant for us to be. I believe we were meant to be free and loved and hopeful, and we're meant to use our God-given talents to make our difference in the world. I think each and every person in this room has different talents, but I think sometimes we are either intimidated or we're fearful of using them, and therefore we never reach our full, amazing potentials. Yet I think each and every person in this room has taken a giant step forward towards peeling back a layer of fear. Being here at Toastmasters, this is putting us on a path of freedom and towards our potential. I know I have spent far too much time in my life doing things or not doing things, making choices I thought other people wanted me to make, other people being my parents, my spouse, my peers, maybe a boss. Sometimes I think, how would my life be different had I made more of the choices that maybe were a little more true to myself? Not too long ago, I read something that said, if you are paying attention, you will get to sing the song of life that you were meant to sing. I thought that was beautiful. Yet I think that song gets lost for so many of us because we're too busy being wrapped in layers that suppress that song. I know it's easy for me. I get wrapped up in the minutia of life. I spend time worrying about things that are probably never going to happen. I spend time worrying about things I have no control over. Do any of you do that? Worry needlessly? Instead, we need to start paying attention to the song. I challenge each and every one of you, as I challenge myself, to stop the worrying and to start peeling back the layers of the onion so that we can get closer to our true selves, so that we can get closer to reaching our full potentials, and that we can spend more time focusing on the song. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could all sing our songs in harmony? Madam Toastmaster.